What's up, YouTube? It's me, your guy, T-Belly here, with a brand new video featuring Captain Algebra.
Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here. I'm here with my pickups for October 2019. First thing I want to talk about is a gift from Die Hard Gamer Bros. So you want to send me a little Christmas present, a little early, and he sent me Super Sentai. So very excited to have this. So you guys, a lot of you know I'm a huge Power Ranger fan, and this is what Power Rangers came from. And so I heard it's totally different. That's what he was saying. Like if you watch the first few episodes, it's like completely different. But it's just really cool because I'm such a big Power Ranger fan to have where it originated from. So thank you, Die Hard. Can't wait to start watching this. Next, back when I had pneumonia, I had 2 weeks off basically, and the second week was basically just recovering at home. And the last Friday of that, I was feeling pretty good, so I decided to, I had to run into town to do some errands, figured I'd stop at some game stores, do some game hunting. So found a couple DS games that I liked. First one, Math Blaster and the Prime Adventure. So obviously being a math teacher, I need math games. I have the Math Blaster Episode 1 on Super Nintendo, and as soon as I saw this, it was like $5. I'm like, yep, picking that up. So it's, it's just like Math Blaster we used to play back in the day on computers. Different math games to play. And it actually does have a story mode, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not that great, but math is fun, so I like it. And the next one, Star Fox 64 3D. So I'm a huge fan of Star Fox 64. It's my favorite Star Fox game. The first one's okay, but Star Fox 64 was the first one I ever played, and I thought it was really cool. I was kind of blown away by it. And so having it on DS is really cool. Obviously they upgraded the graphics. They look better than obviously games on the N64. But it's just a fun game to play. And when I do go on vacation or I go on trips, I don't bring my Switch. I bring my 3DS. I bring my Game Boy Advance, I bring my PSP, I bring my handheld consoles because I really don't play those at home, and so this would be a great game to travel with someday. And the third one, the one I was most excited about for the DS, Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow. So I've heard really good things about this. I was at first not sure if I wanted it just because it was the Konami's best version. But honestly, I really don't care too much about it. It was a good price, it was complete, and honestly, if I really want the other version, I can just basically sell this and buy the other version. But it's similar to Symphony of the Night, more RPG elements. It's where these Metroidvania games came from. Yeah, so far I've played just a little bit of it, like it quite a bit. I need to finish Symphony of the Night first though. But yeah, I've always heard good things about this. I know there's another game on the DS, I believe. So I still have to pick that one up. But just glad to find that one. And at the same time, when I was going to these stores, found a Genesis game I'd been looking for, Zero Tolerance. So I originally heard of this game when Mega Dan picked it up at Too Many Games, and he got it for really cheap. I think mine was 15. He might have got it for 10. But it's it's a very old first-person shooter akin to like Wolfenstein or Doom, and you go around and you have to go through each level and killing all the enemies before you can proceed to the next level. And you get different guns you can get. You can actually be different people. I don't know if their stats are any different. I mean, it has a little like brief blurb about each person about what they're good at and stuff, but I don't know. I've never really noticed any difference in gameplay. I guess I need to play it a little more, but it's a fun game. There's nothing special. Unfortunately, it is very long. There's like 50 or 60 levels. I know Mega Dan took quite a few streams to finish it, but it's a solid game. It looks fun, and I enjoyed playing it. Then a couple other games that I picked up during this trip. First, these ones are on the PS2. First one, Blowout. So I heard about this game when 8-Bit Glitch was streaming it. He said he got it for cheap, and I found this game for $2. And basically, it's a run-and-gun shooter. You're on this ship. It's kind of derelict, and you have to figure out how to kill these aliens and clones and stuff. Even if you have to destroy this ship that you're on. You get different weapons. There's boss fights. There are secret areas if you blow up part of the ship since it's kind of wrecked. But I mean, for $2, you can't turn this down. It's a solid game for that. So yeah, if you see it, pick it up. Next game, Onimusha Warlords. So lately I've heard a lot of people talking about Onimusha, and I had never played any of the games. And so I think I saw this one for $4, $5, something like that. So as soon as I saw it, I'm like, yep, gonna grab that. And I'm really enjoying it so far. I mean, it's a little weird that it has tank controls like the Resident Evil games, but it plays pretty well. So I'm really looking forward to getting more into this, and then hopefully getting the rest in the series, because I've really enjoyed it so far. So I know I heard like Video Game Lover talk about it, and Nefarious West has talked about it. So really glad to add that to the collection. And then finally, the last game I picked up on that little trip, Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. So picked this one up because of Gaming Off the Grid. They did their Wii light gun game videos, and this is one of them. And I love light gun games. I love Resident Evil games, so it goes perfect. So this is really fun so far. I mean, it's just a little bit more laid back than a regular Resident Evil game. You're on rails. You don't control where you go. The game does, and you just got to shoot everything, kill everything. You get different weapons like a submachine gun. You get a shotgun. You can throw grenades. I'm not too far into it, so I just know it starts covering parts from Resident Evil 0. I don't know if everything's from Resident Evil 0. I'm assuming not, since it's the Umbrella Chronicles. It probably covers a few different games. But I really like it so far. It's a lot of fun. I really want to get Dark Side Chronicles because I believe Robert and Wes said that was their favorite out of the two, but this is good too. So definitely got to pick up Dark Side Chronicles now. And moving on, next game, it comes from Gaming Off the Grid. They went to PRGE and they bought me a game. I told them I was looking for it, so I appreciate Wes and Robert for sending it to me. That's Splatterhouse on the 360. So I didn't know this game existed until Nefarious West streamed it a while ago. And it looked really cool. I know it didn't get great reviews and not everyone loves it, but it's a good hack and slash, The voice acting's not that great from the main character, Rick. But the Terror Mask's voice is really good. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, it's pretty brutal, some of the stuff you can do. It's kind of like with, in God of War, after you kill the enemy or hurt the enemies enough, that little circle appears above them and you can do certain moves to finish them off. And this one, they turn, get a red outline, and then you grab them, and then you have to do something with the joysticks to do a special move. You can rip their heads off, you can rip their limbs off, you can rip their torso from their body. Like, it's pretty crazy. And then the big seller for me, once I talked to Wes about this, Gaming Off the Grid's Wes, I found out you can unlock all 3 original Splatterhouse games, which is awesome. I mean, I love playing the original forms, but those are a little more expensive, so it's going to be a while before I can get them, so at least this way I can play them until then. Next, we're going to go with the PS4 games I picked up, and they were all from Limited Run. First one, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. So, big fan of this game, and so when I saw it was coming out on PS4, I had to grab it. A little disappointed though, there's nothing different between this and the PS2. In fact, when you boot the game up, it does the PlayStation 2 symbol in front, and then when you start the game, it asks you if you want to save on a PlayStation 2 memory card. So I thought that was pretty funny. But it's just a fun game playing as Jango Fett, trying to catch the bounties and scanning the enemies to figure out if they're a bounty or not, and then if you get more money for them dead or alive. So it's just cool to have it on PS4 now, since it's my console of choice for this generation. Then another game I got in the same lot, Mercenary Kings. So this is a 2D action game, basically run and gun game, and you play as one of 4 characters, and you do different missions. Some missions are rescue missions, some missions you have to destroy things, some missions you're just looking for supplies. And it's got RPG elements. You find certain supplies and you can improve your weapons, and you can build other things. So it's pretty cool so far. You do have a reloading system that's kind of annoying. You have to press a button at certain times, otherwise it takes longer to reload. But it's still a really fun game. When I saw this, I didn't know anything about it. I just watched the trailer of it. It looked pretty cool, and so far I'm very, very impressed. It's a very fun game so far. So if you can find it, definitely suggest playing it. And then third, the one that I was probably most excited to get, Celeste. This took a very long time to get, but very glad I finally got it. So you've heard me talk about The Messenger. I feel like The Messenger and Celeste were 2 of the big indie games in the past couple of years that I kept hearing about that I really wanted on physical version. So as soon as I saw them come out with limited run, I had to pick them up. And this is just a fun 2D platformer. I love platformers that add a little bit to it. This one you got the dash mechanic and be able to climb the walls and stuff. Instead of just being a typical platformer. I also like how they basically have your inner demon. You see yourself in a mirror and it pops out, and you kind of go back and forth. And there's even levels where this inner demon's chasing you. So it adds to it. So really, really cool. I'm glad I could finally play it. So far, I'm really liking it. You can also go around and collect all the strawberries in each level. I haven't done that yet, but by the time I finish it, I definitely want to do that. This is the type of game I liked 100%. Some games I don't care about, but this one's pretty fun. And finally, my favorite pick of the month, and I know it's a Nintendo Switch. Captain, what's wrong with you? A Switch game over PS4? It happens sometimes. But this one was coming out in October. I was so hyped when I heard about it. Luigi's Mansion 3. So if you know me, you know that Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube is my favorite GameCube of all time. Is my favorite GameCube game of all time. The first time I played it, I thought it was so different and interesting compared to other, Mario type games, that I absolutely loved it so much. And now I play it at least once a year. I mean, hell, last year I think I streamed it in one stream. I did a 5-hour stream and played it. It's just a really fun game. 2, I was a little disappointed in it. It's not bad by any means. It's still a fun game. It's just, I don't know, it's not as good as the original. And I feel like Luigi's Mansion 3 is the perfect blend. They took things from the first one, they took things from the second game, and they perfectly blended it. Controls really well. The one thing that sucked was there is the motion control, the gyro control with the controller, which at first I tried to turn off in the settings, but all I saw was a like a meter for it to change the sensitivity, and I was like, what, you can't turn it off? Then towards the end of the game I was doing the boss fight, and it was making the boss fight frustrating, even though the boss fight wasn't really that difficult. And so I looked it up online, and sure enough, you just turn it to 0 and it turns it off, and that makes part of the game so much better. Because there are parts where you're trying to aim your plunger, and it's having a hard time aiming because you're moving the joystick, but then you're also moving the controller a little bit because it's hard to hold the controller perfectly still, and then it's hard to aim. But really cool. It's got interesting ghosts, fun boss fights. I feel like they're not as good as the Luigi's Mansion 1 ghosts or boss fights. They're just not as interesting to me. I thought they were all pretty easy. But I like how each floor of the hotel is a different theme. Some levels are better than others, but overall it's a very fun game. And definitely recommend it if you like the Luigi Mansion series, you have a Switch, definitely got to pick it up. So there you go, pretty small month again, but Christmas is coming up. I got to be spending money on my wife and daughters. So, but still a lot of good games here. Really excited to dig into some of these. So appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, this is Captain Algebra, signing off.